Turn a plain old cake mix into something spectacular. This blueberry streusel coffee cake.
Let's see what's cooking. Let's get the facts. Let's see what's cooking. It's time for Yo-Yo Max 12.
Hello everyone, starting off with making the streusel topping. That is 1/2 cup of chopped pecans, adding in 1/4 cup of packed brown sugar, then 3 tablespoons of melted butter, and a 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And all you have to do is just stir that together until combined and just set that aside for the next part of the recipe. In a large bowl, you'll place 1 package of cake mix. I'm using golden cake mix, but you can certainly could use white. You could use a spice mix or maybe even a lemon cake mix. Let me know what you think would be good in this as well. Then to the cake mix, add 3 large eggs, 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, 1/4 cup of milk, 1/2 cup of white granulated sugar, and 8 ounces of happy cream cheese at room temperature. And then all you have to do, just blend this together. Just continue to blend until it's nice and smooth and there's no more bits of cream cheese that you can see. It takes 2-3 minutes. It's going to be a very thick batter when you're done. Then you're going to pour this batter into a greased 9 by 13 inch baking dish and then just spread it around. I switched to an offset spatula because I wanted to have it nice and smooth on the top, but don't worry about how smooth it is on the top. It doesn't really matter. Just make it so that it's even in the pan and you're good. Now we're going to sprinkle on some blueberries. The recipe calls for 1.5 cups of fresh or unthawed frozen blueberries. Now I'm using about 2 cups worth of blueberries. These are wild blueberries. That's why they're a little on the small side, if you notice, compared to the ones you get at a grocery store. These ones I did thaw because they were in my freezer since last year and they had quite a bit of frost on them. And so I didn't want all that extra liquid and they were kind of in clumps. So I thawed them and I just drained them to get rid of any extra moisture and sprinkled them over top. We have a lot of wild blueberries around here in my part of the world and I just love picking blueberries. Then once your blueberries are on the top, you can add your streusel topping. And I don't know why my white balance went crazy on my camera at this point, but it did. Take the streusel topping. I just use a spoon and just put little dollops of it all over the place. It's not going to cover the whole surface. There's not that much of it, but this is just the right amount, in my opinion, for this recipe. And then I used my fingers just to break up some of the larger clumps, just so that each part of the cake has a little bit of that topping. Then you put this in the oven at 350 degrees and you're going to bake it for 45 minutes or so until it's golden brown. And when you press on the top of the cake, it lightly springs back. Mine took closer to almost an hour. I find that when you bake in a glass baking dish that you almost have to add like almost 10 minutes to the cooking time for almost everything that you do. And here it is out of the oven. And something very interesting happens to this while it's baking. The blueberries and the streusel topping sink down into the cake and it makes like this weird kind of cracking all over the top of the cake. And you can see where some of the topping goes right down to the bottom of the cake. So it's very interesting looking. And as you can see, it's beautiful. You get blueberry and you get that streusel topping all the way through the cake. This is delicious. You would never believe that it was a cake mix that you're starting off with. The cake itself has a really nice, rich flavor from that cream cheese. And of course, you can't go wrong with blueberries, and it has a little bit of crunch from those pecans. This one is a winner, and I think you'd even be good if you used raspberries. I have always loved recipes that start off as cake mixes, and I have 3 or 4 cookbooks just full of them, and I have a playlist with a whole bunch of them on my channel, including these ones right here. These are chocolate chip cream cheese cookies that start off as a cake mix. This is a really old video. It was about 14 years ago when my son was just a little guy, and I made it for a day in January called Down the Rabbit Hole Day, which is January 27th. So the video is reversed, so it's a little weird, but the recipe is really good. So if you want to, go and check it out, and thank you so much for watching.